Welcome to English. We are going to continue our conversations about narrative poetry. So in this lesson today, we will explore the different elements of a narrative poem so that we can write our own poem with the proper elements. And we know we got it if we can explain the different elements and use them in our own poem. So just a recap about those requirements for the 111 narrative poem. You are writing your own narrative poem. Think about, all right, it's a narrative, so that means it's a story. It should have a beginning, middle, and end. So it should have that clear sequence of events, of things happening. Think about your rising action, climax, resolution, all those things about the conflict. Sensory language, using those five senses: touch, taste, smell, hear, see. Uh, Figurative language, similes, metaphors, hyperbole, personification, and a verb in a conditional mood like would, could, if. But your poem can be on any topic as long as it's school appropriate, but make sure that you are writing your own original poem. I don't want to see what someone else wrote on the internet. I want to see what you write. So it shouldn't be anything that you've written for any other classes either. It should be your own original, brand new poem. We are using our 8th grade writing skills. This is due tomorrow. Our narrative poem rubric here, you can see the breakdown of how it will be graded. So 6 points for having that narrative sequence, having that conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution, sensory language, figurative language, that verb and conditional mood, and grammar mechanics. So make sure that you're spelling, looking through, rereading it once you're done writing it, making sure it's the best that it can be. So I want you to think, what elements are needed for a poem to be considered a narrative? You can pause the video as you think. When you're ready, you can hit play and continue. So a narrative poem is a story told in verse. It often has a beginning, middle, and end, a characters, setting, problem, and solution. There's things happening. So for this narrative poem assignment, you can create a story to tell in a poem, or you can retell a story you already know. It could be about a favorite moment, experience, or person, but it needs to be a story of some kind. So it should be a short moment in time. I don't want a 15-page poem because there's a ton of you and only one of me. But it should share, just that one moment in time. So I have an example, Oranges by Gary Soto. So as you are listening to this poem or reading it, I want you to think, who are the characters? What do you know about the speaker? What is the setting? Maybe time and place. What is the conflict? What's going on? So pause this video. You can go to the description from this class recording or on our April parking lot links. Grab the link to listen or read Oranges by Gary Soto. And when you are done, come on back and we will continue looking at the poem. Here is a copy of that poem. If you'd like to read it, you can pause here and read this. All right, welcome back. So, who are the characters in the poem and what do you know about the speaker? So you can pause. What do you think? Okay, so in this example poem, we have our characters. We have the boy and the girl. We have the store clerk. Those are the only ones I can notice from here. And then, what do you know about the speaker? Looking at it, it sounds like he's recalling a time from when he was 12 years old, the first time he was, ever, went on a date, it sounds like. So it sounds like he um, maybe was, this struck a memory for him because it was the first date he's ever been on. And, um, it sounds like he's able to walk and to different places. So maybe they live in a town or a city. And, you know, he's doing what he can to maybe impress her. He takes her to the store and she picks out that piece of chocolate, but he only has a nickel and it costs a dime, so he's doing whatever he can. Like, okay, so maybe he doesn't have a whole lot of money, but he's doing whatever he can to make sure she can still have that piece of chocolate. The setting, let's see, if he was 12 years old. So looking at it, it sounds like if it was a piece of chocolate that only cost a dime, probably somewhere in a more distance past. Knowing about our prices currently for chocolate and whatnot, it's a little bit more expensive than that. So it sounds like it was set further back in time in a city, walking down the street, in a store. So we do have those different locations. And the conflict, it seems like to me, the conflict we have, the girl picks out that chocolate that costs more than what he can afford, but he's able to still get it because the store clerk understands that he's doing his best to impress this girl and helps him out. So, we see that solution there with from that for that part of the conflict. So thinking about that poem, maybe it sparks some ideas for you. Maybe you can brainstorm some moments that you could use in your own poem to showcase. What would you like your own poem to be about? It could be real, it can be fictional. It's totally up to you. You can pause the video here as you brainstorm, and when you're ready, we can continue. Some questions to also keep in mind. Who are going to be the characters in your poem? What do you know about the speaker? What's the setting? Think time and place. What is the conflict that your characters are going to be handling? So that might help you with your planning. One thing to think about, what do narrative poems always have? Or what do they always do? So narrative poems always tell a story. Narrative poems can also be true or fiction. That's up to you. So at this point, if you have questions, make sure that you reach out to me. You can call, text, email. Texting or email would be the best way to reach me since I am out of the office. But make sure you're completing lesson 110 today. There is a quiz at the end. Begin brainstorming ideas for that poem. Maybe work on it, get it done. And of course, if you have any missing, low scored, overdue assignments, make sure you're getting those done, helping getting those grades up, and complete anything else on your plan for today. Keep an eye on that feedback. If you have questions or concerns, make sure you reach out to me. Otherwise, you are free to continue working on lesson 110. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later. Take care.